Hi, and welcome back to another edition of What's Next? Living Longer, Better, Smarter. In this edition, Adventures at Any Age, made possible by IN2L. Spark, engage, shine. I'm Fred Fishkin along with Mary Furlong. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Fred. And with our guest today, it's always an adventure. I can promise you that. And I'm really looking forward to this episode.
It is going to be fun. We have Jerry Goehring, a Tony and Grammy nominated producer who is also the CEO and co-founder of Saltbox TV. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Fred. Hi, Mary. Thanks for having me again. It's wonderful to see you.
Great to see you. And we also have the co-founder of IN2L and soon to be reality TV star. Wait till you hear about this. Jack York. Hi, Jack.
Fred, how are you doing? It's always good to be hanging with you and Aunt Mary and being with Jerry. Does it get any better than that?
And we like Jackie too. I'm glad you brought Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie, I'm at Denver International Airport hoping these security guards don't make me drive around in a circle.
So let me get this straight. We have Jackie, a spaniel, it looks like, and then we've got Jack, a Yorkie. Is that right?
And
yes.
Now, Jack, I've known you for many years, and it's always an adventure. And I love the way you connect in with the older adults in different communities around the country and around the world. Personally, I own goats with the name Mary in Africa because of one of your projects. And now you're off on an exciting new adventure. Part of me wants to join you and Jackie on this adventure. So tell us a little bit more about the mission of TaleGate.
So, Mary, you're right. You and I have been around the block a time or two. And I've always just felt, I just think a lot of this stuff has nothing to do with aging. We all want to feel relevant. We all want to feel connected. TaleGate is just kind of a natural extension of 23 years of IN2L of connecting people, but it's in a 42-foot trailer.
Yes.
That's one of a few differences, I guess.
I went from senior net to third age, and I said to you yesterday that I felt like this is the start of senior net again, in a way, because you're going to be on the road, you're going to be meeting seniors where they are. So tell us what TaleGate is. What's your vision for it?
Yeah, TaleGate is it's analogous to IN2L. When IN2L was founded, and some of you know the story, that it was never thought of initially as a business. It was just a friend of mine had the idea to donate some computers. We did that, and it turned into 23 years later, a very successful entity. With TaleGate, I mean, Mary, you know about the 60/20 tour that I went on, and we're driving all over the country and interacting with elders. It was life-changing for me to have the connection with the older adults. And so I wanted to make that bigger and do that a little more differently. And initially, without thinking of it as a business, I was just going to be driving all over the country, going to baseball games and taking nursing home residents that were veterans to baseball games. But as I talked to people, you being one of them, people had they made me think about it a little bit bigger. And I think COVID, and I know you've seen, all three of you have seen this, that COVID helped accelerate changes that were already happening in just the way marketing's done, and the way, the whole vendor booth at a conference seems a little dated. So long story short, TaleGate is a celebration. It's a 42-foot trailer that we're taking all over the country to do, and it's TALE intentionally. It's a combination of having a TaleGate party, and also capturing stories of elders and of staff. And so we're going to be doing that all over the country. But the real exciting spinoff of it, and I'll let Jerry kind of talk about it from his perspective, is that once a month, we're going to be doing a reality TV show that Saltbox is producing that's really kind of taking it to the next level. So long answer, but hopefully, and let's be honest, we haven't even started yet. So what I tell you it is in 6 months will probably be a little different, but conceptually, that's what it's all about.
Yes, let's turn to Jerry, and hear more what Saltbox is doing and how you're helping the effort.
Well, I think is a great transition because I think, TaleGate is one of those kind of tentpole moments for us, because we, after 2 years of just really learning about the longevity and senior market and working with a lot of creators that are already out there, we have now put both feet into the third leg of our stool, which is creating products, creating shows, creating both prescriptive, directly aimed at the industry, and those in a more larger entertainment, working with a lot of Hollywood stars. So we're doing two things at once. And TaleGate is our premier show that we are really supporting and working on. And the idea is to take what Jack is doing in all these communities with the TaleGate trailer, and now creating kind of a CBS Sunday Morning, this is your life, kind of about the resident that he is revealing. And imagine just learning about somebody's history, their life, their loves, their passions. And then when you're sitting alone in a room, sometimes you forget about all those people that you have affected with your life, all the love and all the education. And then imagine talking to Jack and walking out of that trailer and then maybe meeting your closest 100 people you've affected, and having that moment and think that, my life not only has meant something to other people, but it made me fulfill, and I can inspire others to do the same. And that's why we think there's a show in here. We think there is an amazing show to celebrate the senior stories. And Jack is the perfect host to do this. So we are excited. We start shooting in about 4 weeks. We're getting close.
This is really a terrific thing. So, Jack, you're out there. You're going to be out there with a crew in this 42-foot trailer. Mission of capturing these stories and exposing the lives of people, more or less, it sounds like, who have a certain number of decades under their belts. How are you going to find these stories?
It's funny. People are always asking me that, and we haven't even started publishing it yet, and we're already getting a lot of ideas about what to do. And I love having Jerry in the mix, because Jerry will be able to kind of, my nature is to say, anybody says a person, yeah, let's do it. And so it needs a little bit of vetting and a little bit of, what's going to have more of an audience pull and connection, and all the stuff that Jerry's lived his whole life doing from a Broadway standpoint. So I love being able to kind of turn the production, I just do things, and Mary, more than anybody else, I just kind of do things from the seat of my pants. But it's nice to really have somebody involved and an organization involved that knows that you really have to do this right to make it come across the right way.
We can really relate to this, because Fred and I first met when we were working together at Viacom and CBS. And one of our producers, Missy Rennie, was the woman who started CBS Sunday Morning, which was touch the heart, touch the mind, touch the soul.
I love
Wonderful person. And in fact, we hired Missy from CBS. And then this also reminds me of This Is Your Life. So when we grew up with those traditional TV shows, there was a lot to that. And everybody loves to see the surprise element of this. So Jerry, you are the perfect person to bring into the mix, I think.
Well, thank you. Everybody loves Jack York in this industry around the country, and his
not everybody.
That's true. All but one.
No, all but one. That's pretty good, Jack. But you're right. There's stories to be told, and it's less of an oral history piece, and it is about a piece of America. It's a piece of generations that we don't want to forget, and those that can affect others. And I think there is that personal approach, which you're just absolutely right. CBS Sunday Morning meets This Is Your Life. That's exactly what this is. And this approach, and people ask Jack, where are you going to find your stories? I asked Jack, how are you going to choose between all the stories that are out there?
Yeah. Well, and it's also the other thing too, and I give credit to Jim Parker, who's our driver, senior living veteran now driver, but he helped find a certain type of trailer that a stage drops off to the side of it. And so what's really cool about as we plan this is I can be interviewing the person inside the trailer, and we'll have gotten 2 or 3 days of footage. But while I'm interviewing them at the end, that outside the stage coming off the trailer, you know, there can be 100, 150 people, all these people that the person is impacted. And so you kind of wind down the interview and something, again, Jerry's team's coaching me on this, but you kind of envision like, you know, you've impacted so many people. What would you tell them? And then they'll tell me something. And it's like, well, stand up. Why don't you tell them yourself? And you open the door and there's this whole big dramatic scene of people that they've impacted. And I just, you know, I would say the third thing to add to it is like Jimmy Stewart and It's a Wonderful Life, when he kind of has that, you know, look at what the town would have been without you. What was it, Potterville or something? So
that's good.
It really, it's very whimsical and it's very lighthearted, but it's, you know, I don't mean to be over dramatic, but I think the times are right for something like this. Everything is so negative and everything is so tied into politics. And it's just like, just take a step back and be grateful for this generation of people that have helped build this marvelous country, and let's celebrate it for 20 minutes a month, or I guess 30 minutes if we had our advertising time, right, Jerry? You have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it maybe 2 hours with our advertising.
Yeah, he's coaching me.
And also how important it is for the senior living communities that have really been facing difficult times during the COVID, and to be able to bring that sense of life and engagement and fun, you know. I think that's where we're aligned the most, is we're all about fun and we're all about sharing the wisdom and the talent. And it's a little bit like, who was the football player that took the bus? John Madden. He gave us a feeling of what it was like to be at the game. And you're going to give us a feeling what it's going to be like to be in those senior communities.
Well, we want to take a look at this tailgate trailer, and Jack is taking us on site. Hi, Jack.
This is kind of tailgate preseason. We're doing our first visit today. You can see there's the trailer set up, and we're setting up all these different stations, from cornhole to we're going to have a dunking booth. We've got a little photo booth, and then here's the whole trailer. You can see the trailer. We got little Stephen Stills going for you, Fred. And then you go inside, and this is where this is the recording studio that we're getting all set up. So we're going to be interviewing some residents in about 2 hours. So we're in full setup mode here. Little speakeasy room. This has got Mary Furlong written all over it. Hanging in here, drinking a little Cabernet. So that's it, baby. That is tailgate live and in color.
So you've got your first folks coming in to be interviewed, Jack. Where are you?
I'm at the Christian Living Communities in just outside of Denver. It was our first IN2L customer in 2001. And so appropriately, this is our first tailgate stop in 21 years later.
Just amazing. And you're going to be putting a lot of miles on that, traveling all over the country?
Yeah, well, we're not going to really start rolling until after November. We're doing a lot of testing. We've got a cool visit set up at Providence, Mount St. Vincent, and Alicio in Washington State, and then doing a few days at Ohio Living in September. And then we formally launch at Leading Age at their annual conference in Denver in October.
Terrific. Well, safe travels, Jack.
All right. Okay.
Jerry, tell us the mission at Saltbox TV and your involvement here. And you've got other original programming in the works too. Tell us more about Saltbox.
Sure. I mean, we are now fully in production mode. We actually, kind of now referred to our production side as Saltbox Studios, because we are just becoming a production house as we have gathered content for the streaming side to help. Not only with TaleGate, we have 3 shows now. We are working with major Hollywood stars that are scripted and unscripted. Unfortunately, maybe next time we talk, I can let you know, but we're under NDAs as we negotiate all of this. But I can say there's one piece that we start filming in 2 weeks that we're very proud of. I can't wait to see where this goes. It's more prescriptive for a very unfortunately large audience called Dementia Divas. And we basically gathered 3 wonderful ladies who are, the biggest speakers out there on the subject. Everyone, I'm sure, knows Teepa Snow and Dr. Macy Smith and Lori LeBay. We brought these 3 ladies together, and basically it's The View meets a music show, because it's all wrapped around not just dementia talk, but how the arts are helping dementia patients have awakenings, cope with things, letting their families to rediscover them at moments of a time. So we will be traveling the country and doing different segments, and we start filming our first one in 2 weeks. And we expect the first episode to be up by the holidays.
When can we expect to see TaleGate hit the screen?
What do you think, Jack?
Well, I'm trying to migrate a dog barking here, but and I also want to say, Fred, Mary, we've got some really exclusive big names too that I can't tell you about, because I just don't want to be upstaged by Jerry and his throwing names around. So anyway, no, we're going to formally launch at Leading Age in Denver. We're going to have our trailer right on the floor of the vendor.
So you're going to be a Leading Age in Denver. I know you're coming to San Francisco.
Fred, take over. You're losing control here, Fred.
No, this is a rough cut.
I knew you were going to do something like that. Well, this has been a lot of fun. So we look forward to seeing the premiere of TaleGate, and congratulations on taking your vision and going on the road with it. It's very exciting. Both of you, all of us.
The websites are saltboxtv.com. You can even watch from there. You don't need to sign up, give a credit card, or do anything. And you'll find it on a lot of your devices hooked up to your TVs as well. And you can learn more about TaleGate at TaleGate4joy.com. That's TaleGate4joy.com. Who's Joy, Jack? But anyway, it's for all of us.
Yeah, great to see you all.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. It's always great to see you. And Fred, you guys are like I'm trying to think of a good couple to you. What's a media couple, Jerry? Who do they?
I go with Donnie and Marie every time.
Yes, Donnie and Marie. Yeah, Donnie and Marie.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
I could go with that. I think that's right.
Can't wait to see more and see what Jack and the team do with this. Mary, there is some big news that we want to get to as well. And joining us for that is the Executive Director of the Consumer Technology Association Foundation, Steve Ewell. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Fred. Hey, Mary. Thrilled to be here and joining you, and looking forward to a great conversation.
And Steve, it's great to see you and have us join again. You've got an exciting year ahead. I know CES will be even bigger and better this next year. The work you're doing with the foundation, I've followed for a long time, and it's really important in the lives of older adults, in the lives of people with disabilities, and increasingly many of the older adults have some form of disability. So it's a real growth market.
And Steve, before we get to some news that you have, perhaps you can join us for a quick chat about a couple of headlines. The F.D.A. giving long-awaited clearance to over-the-counter hearing aids, and the climate and healthcare bill signed by the president that also tackles the cost of prescriptions for older adults. First off, I think the CTA has been pretty active on this hearing aid front, people being able to buy over the counter.
Oh, absolutely. No, we're really excited to see the news of the release this week. And this has been an issue that, both from a foundation and from an association viewpoint. From a foundation viewpoint, we just see it as important opportunities to get technology into the hands of people who could not access it before. From an association viewpoint, CTA has been advocating for this for quite some time. And the standards side of CTA actually created the standards around personal sound amplification products, PSAPs, which were kind of the previous product that existed in the over-the-counter hearing type space, although it was not really designed for pure hearing assistance. It was more just hearing augmentation. But we see some of that opportunity, and just seeing the conversation that we're seeing amongst our members of, I think we're going to see a lot of great innovations coming out over the next few months. October is when these first over-the-counter hearing aids can really hit the market. I think we're going to see a lot of exciting things there. And then building up into CES in January. I think this is going to be a big topic for us at the show.
There's some traditional consumer electronics companies that are going to be players in this space too, that haven't been involved with the medical type device before.
Yep, we've been hearing companies for a number of years exploring this space and looking at, certainly if you look at all the companies that are already making, the earbuds and ways that they can adjust the way that you're hearing, not from a hearing aid perspective, but looking at ways that those technologies could be applied. I think you're going to be able to see some additional technology added into those types of devices that could bring them into the augmented hearing space and qualify in the over-the-counter hearing aid. And then there's a number of companies that have been, smaller startups that have been working in this space for years. I think we're going to see new innovations come out in that space. But I think one of the really exciting things is this will be a bit of a bridge for people who are losing their hearing aids, people who, have that mild hearing loss that when they get the $3,000 an ear price tag, say, no, I'm not quite ready for that yet. Well, if they can instead have, a couple $100 price tag, they might be more willing to try hearing devices and get used to using hearing devices. So if they do continue to lose more hearing, then it's a clearer path for them to advance to working with audiologists and getting more advanced hearing aids. But I think this will open the door for a lot more consumers to be comfortable with hearing loss, and also address that stigma that so often prevents people from using hearing aids because they don't want to be seen as someone using a hearing aid. Well, if everyone else is running around with earbuds in their ears, and if we can make these a fashion device and something that, I want to show off my hearing aid, not hide it in my ear as much as possible, well, that might actually open up a lot of doors and help a lot of people who otherwise are not being served right now.
You're so right. And I've often thought they should look like earrings. And I was at the Apple store and I noted all the people that had earbuds in. So I think it's really that untapped market, that hasn't been using the hearing aid devices, that is so large that now this is quite accessible. So we also know that prescription drug changes are coming to Medicare, and that was really fought hard by AARP and others to get that through. And so we congratulate them. Do you want to comment on that?
From a consumer technology perspective, I don't deal as much in the pharmaceutical space. So I just, it's exciting to see the changes that are occurring, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
And Steve, meanwhile, you're helping to foster more innovation with the Eureka Park Accessibility Contest, which you just announced for CES 2023. Give us the overview.
Yeah, this is one of the activities that I love doing every year. This will actually be the 6th year that we're running this contest. And it's Eureka Park is the startup area at CES. So it's where we get startups from around the world to come together and really recognize that, last year at CES, we had over 800 startups from all over the world with all different types of technologies. But this contest is essentially our way of getting some of those innovators that are developing technologies to think about how could their products benefit either older adults or people with disabilities. So we run this contest. We give away 5 booths every year. We also give away $2,500 to each company because I know it costs money to be in Las Vegas for a week for a startup. So we want to help cover some of those costs for those startups. And then we give them a bunch of attention throughout the week. The product or the companies do not necessarily have to be focused solely on the aging or the disability space. They can be general consumer products. They can be focused on other market areas. But what we want them to be able to do is explain how can their product really benefit either older adults or people with disabilities. We have a group of judges that will be going through and reviewing these companies, and we'll choose 5 of them, and as I said, we'll be bringing them out to CES and giving them a whole lot of attention out there. They have an opportunity to submit between now and September 15th. And it is open. In the past, it was actually only open to US-based companies. We actually worked to extend that a little bit this year. So it's now US and Canadian-based companies that can apply. I'd love to include the whole world in the contest, but turns out international contest rules are a little bit more challenging than we've been able to overcome quite yet, but we're gradually expanding that pool. But I think we're going to see a lot of really great technologies come forward. And yeah, while it is called the Accessibility Contest, it really is any technology that can benefit older adults or people with disabilities.
And what types of entries are you seeking? What else should startups know?
It could be really just about anything. It does need to fit within the Eureka Park criteria. So that does mean that it needs to be a company that's launched its first product commercially sometime after January 1st of 2022. Or later. So it can still be a product that's in development, or it could be, they could be piloting it before that, but not really having launched their product. But it does need to be to the point where they actually have a product. It can't be, I sketched this on the back of a napkin and I think this will be something someday. So, we're looking for something that's far enough along where it is a real product, but kind of new to market or soon to be new to market. But we've had a wide variety of different companies over the years. When I think of some of our previous winners, they've included, a variety of different sensor suites that have helped with older adults in the home. We've had VR-based solutions that have been in that space. We've had wearable devices, smartwatches. We've had wheelchairs and assistive technology type products along those lines, devices that have done translation between sign language and English have been previous winners. Indoor navigation solutions, looking at some of the winners. I mean, I know, like you've probably interviewed over time, LEQ, Intuition Robotics was one of our previous winners there. CarePredict was another one that's been a winner of our contest over the years. So there's a wide variety. I'm really looking for, outside the box thinking, different types of products, but people who have really thought about how their product could make a difference in people's lives.
So many benefits to taking part. You mentioned this is US and Canada only, but if they're there, they're rubbing shoulders with startups and exchanging ideas from all over the world. Eureka Park always has people from all over the place, right?
Oh, it is one of the highlights of the show every year. It is always jam-packed with attendees, and it's the CES audience that comes through there. So there's investors. I've had numerous stories of companies that have landed a number of investors and closed rounds based on meetings that they've done right there on the show floor during CES. But it's also, media. Media is always looking for what are some of the new stories and ideas that they can find in Eureka Park, as well as others in industry. There will be, some of the larger companies that are always looking to partner with some of these new startups, or even other startups that are looking to get engaged in this space. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to get a lot of attention and really put yourself out there. I mean, we call CES the global stage for innovation. So this is a chance to get on that stage and have a prime spot as you're highlighting your technology. So no, we're really thrilled to do this, and I'm always excited to see which technologies are selected. And then CES will be January 5th through the 8th, so right after the new year in Las Vegas, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're seeing just incredible pickup this year as far as companies. We haven't opened up general attendance yet, but as far as companies that are taking space, it's really looking like it's going to be an exciting year this year.
Well, tell us again, where can people go for more information about this, and tell us about the deadline once again.
So if they go to the CTA Foundation's website, ctafoundation.tech, it's .tech, they'll see a link right on there. They can also find our various social channels, and we'll be pushing this out just about everywhere we can. If they find any of those, I'm sure they'll find a link right up near the top, and that will take them to the form. It's a nice brief form to fill out, and then the deadline is September 15th. So we're looking forward to seeing some great entries, and looking forward to share 5 more great companies that are working in this space.
And, we're happy to help as judges or to interview some of the finalists, and always happy to get the word out across all our channels, the podcast and our newsletter and our clients. And of course, this is a real benefit to our audience of listeners. So thank you for coming on and keeping up the great work.
Well, thank you, Mary, and thank you, Fred. I always enjoy talking with both of you, and love the opportunity to highlight some of the great innovations that are going on all over the country and all over the world.
Thank you again, Steve. Really terrific. Congratulations on fostering all of this innovation. And of course, thank you to Jack and Jerry. Thank you also to our sponsor, IN2L, Spark, Engage, Shine. And of course, we appreciate all of you for being with us. You can find all of our podcasts, including the new What's Next Longevity Deal Talk, at maryfurlong.com/podcasts.